DeLacy over here with Third Movement, bringing you the podcast. We got a pretty good show ahead. I've been doing a lot of research, man, on things before I do the show. The Target bathroom law, the transgender Target bathroom law. We're going to be talking about that today. We're going to go into deep, and we're going to look at this story from a lot of different ways. Now, I just want to put out here that this podcast is different, man. This is things that I want to talk about. These are things that I feel. But most importantly, these are things that I bring out that's Christian based. That my faith is everything in my life. I mean, just walk into the store, I may see somebody and we may have a conversation. I'm going to bring up my faith. My faith plays a big role in my everyday life because I am a follower of Jesus Christ. That's the most important thing to me. So as we get this conversation going, I want you to understand that my faith plays a big role in everything I do. But I also want to come from this from other places, other ways. I want to see other pictures. And in this first segment, I want to ask the question, what's behind this transgender bathroom Target thing controversial? I mean, this is where a lot of my, I call it my conspiracy theories, my conspiracy theorist bug is tingling or whatever. I just say, okay, we shouldn't be this shocked by this, right? If we look at a year ago, Target was the same company that made their toys gender neutral, right? They wasn't gonna put a boy section or a girl section. They was gonna put things where just if there was a baby doll, they were gonna put a baby doll next to a truck. And the same thing with their clothes. There was no more little boy section, little girl section. There was just a bunch of clothes. If it's for a boy if it's a dress and it's for a little boy that want to wear a dress, he's gonna find it where the little boy pants is. So this is nothing new. Like I don't want people to be like, oh, I did not see this coming. I mean, we had North Carolina fighting just to keep the bathrooms gendered. I don't know. Boys can use boys and girls can use girls. And they was called all kinds of names. They was wrong for that. Like, you wrong if you allow people at your business, girls to go in the girls' restroom, boys to go in the boys' restroom. You wrong nowadays. And we're going to explore that. But today, undertone is we shouldn't be shocked. There's nothing shocking about this. I mean, there really isn't. We also gonna get into other stories. We're gonna see how this affect people. Definitely. We had a man in Florida arrested for trying to do some perverted stuff in a women's bathroom. That's happening. We talked about the one that happened in Toronto. I mean, it's happening all over. Just heard about one that happened in California. So these are things that we're going to talk about today. We're going to probably read a couple news stories. I'm going to try to be with you for an hour today. A whole hour. So it should be fun. It should be a lot of fun. But before we get into anything, I have to do this. I have to make sure you guys know places you can find us. Third Movement is a ministry where we just want to help people. We want to grow people in Christ. We want to get people ready for the coming persecution. We want to get people ready for Jesus' return. We just want to get people help people find out how to walk in Christ. love your neighbor. We believe that third, we built on the fact that Jesus said in Matthew 22, 37 through 40, two greatest commandments are to love God, mind, body, and soul, and to love your neighbor as yourself. And that's just what we promote here. That's what we do. That's what we believe here. So go ahead and follow us at the different places. You can follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/thirdmovement. You can follow us on Twitter at third. You gotta spell it out. IMTHIRD movement. You can also follow us on YouTube.com/thirdmovement. We on Instagram at third movement. Everywhere online we are third movement. Lastly, make sure you go visit the website where we bring out blogs and we bring videos. The website is thirdmovement.wordpress.com. Once again, thirdmovement.wordpress.com. Thank you for joining the ministry. Hey you, have you been tweeted yet? Follow us at twitter.com at thirdmovement. You have to spell it out, IMTHIRD movement. Hey, and we're also on Periscope. Third, same place. Hello, good people. I come to remind you that we are on Facebook at facebook.com/thirdmovement. We have live Bible studies. Go ahead and like the page. DeLacy Hour here with Third Movement, reminding you to go over to youtube.com/thirdmovement. Check out our videos. Give us a like. Comment for community. Subscribe for more videos. Are we finished or are we done?
Put your hands up if you love.
So, DeLacy Hour here, and we're back. We're talking transgender today. We're talking the transgender restroom that happened, where Target said that anybody can use any restroom, basically. Is this a good or bad thing? You know, we have to really take a look at this because it's here. Now, me personally, I'm not surprised. I said it earlier. I'm really not surprised. Simply just because this is something that's been going on, right, for a while. This is a debate that's been happening when they first started doing sex changes, right? But think about it. Back when the first sex change happened in the 90s, maybe even later than that, maybe in the 80s. I don't quite know. You had to think that, okay, man, well, maybe there would be a problem. What about the restroom issue? Now, I'm gonna take this conversation in a lot of different places, right? Because I was looking at a video where a nice-looking young lady came out. She looked like she was around like 19, 20, college student, you know. White female young lady, and she was saying, how can I protect myself if I'm in a restroom with men? How can I protect myself? She was saying not all people that's going to be using the restroom will be transgender, and we can't look. And I'm in her quote, she just basically said, how can she protect herself? But I'm adding this. How could she protect herself when not all men coming into that restroom will be transgender? They will have other alternative motives. That's the biggest question, right? The question is, how do we protect our women and kids from people that disagree with this law? That's our biggest question. But then right behind her was a transgender person came up and said, she was a male that transgendered into a woman, and she still had to use the men's restroom. And the question that she then asked was, no, she made a statement. She said that when she go into the men's restroom, other men will pick on her, do all kinds of vile things to her, beat on her, I don't know if this is true, but I can't assume that all men are good men. I can't assume that all men won't do evil, just like I can't assume all transgender people won't do evil. Right? I'm not going to assume that. So we can't assume that. No one can assume that. See, that's what get lost is we bring up all these assumptions. And obviously, transgender believe that nothing will be bad happen with another transgender person. Just like I don't think a man should beat on another transgender man or do anything in the restroom. But we can't control other people's thoughts. We can't control other people's actions, and that's what the biggest problem we seeing with this bill is how can we say, if I let my daughter go in the restroom, how can I say she's not going to get raped? How could you be 100%? What you going to say, well, transgender people don't do that? Then what? How fair would I be if I say, well, you know what, men don't beat on other transgender people? That's not something we do. That's not something we're known for. That lies a big issue. But he says that he was beat on by other people or by men when he used a woman's restroom. And you got to understand that could be something that really happened. Can we? Come on now. Listen, Christian-based show, I know, but let's take our mind to some situational things. Let's take our mind to some situational things. We're gonna talk about the boycott later, whether we should boycott or not. I'm gonna answer that question later. Please stay with me, but it's just a lot of other things I want to get to before I get to that. My whole opinion on this thing right now, I've not put my opinion out yet. I'm gonna get to that later. But let's talk right now. Real issue. I've seen transgender men. I've seen transgender women that does not look like women and does not look like men. Right? Like, how would you feel if you using the restroom and a transgender man walk in there, but he's in women? He's in women. He looks like a woman. Wouldn't that make you feel uncomfortable too? Just like if a transgender woman who looked like a man, and I seen one yesterday on the news talking about this issue, because I told you I did a lot of studying. I tried to look at both sides of the story. I want to look at the positive, the pros and the cons, the positive and negatives. I want to come to this in the way of saying, okay, let's open our minds up. I've not put my opinion out there, and I'll put my opinion out there later. These are just things that I'm seeing, and these are just questions that I'm asking. How would you feel as a woman if a woman walks in there that look like a man? Wouldn't that make you feel uncomfortable? I know if a dude walk in that looks like a woman, that would make me feel really uncomfortable. I personally know transgender people, and I'm gonna tell you, some of these transgender, man, you can't tell the difference. You can't tell the difference. Scary. I'm a single man, and one of my prayers is, Father God, let me get married before. Let me get married before this thing get big to the point where you can't tell the difference. And we're going to be talking about that later. Not marriage, but just when telling the difference and all that. Because, there's some people out there saying that there should be a transgender restroom. So we'll talk about that later. But now I want to ask the question. Are we too late? Are we too late? That's going to be the underlying question for this podcast. Are we too late? Because you got to remember, they look like what they want to be looking like. They look like what they feel like. They don't look like what they were born like. And I'm using they as a transgender.